And now for more of the Stalebread Podcast with Mike, Keller, and me.
1, 2, buckle my shoe.
I told you how I grew up in a bar.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the name of it. But I grew up in a bar. I'd come home from school, elementary school and middle school, and I'd take naps under the pool table because my grandpa worked there.
No shit.
I was probably 10 years old, and they were redoing all the walls, all the siding, and I snuck behind the bar, and I tried so much shit. I don't even know what I tried. I was 10 years old. I was just taking sips, and they had the little spouts on them.
Yep.
And my house was right across the street. So I told my mom, hey, I need to go home. I don't feel good. And no one ever found out. They just thought I had like a 24-hour bug. I was throwing up. I was drunk off my fucking ass, man. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know I was getting drunk. I just wanted to taste it. Shit.
What a day, man. Oh, sick of it.
Sick of dick holes.
You burnt out too, like me?
Way burned out.
Yeah. Big time.
I almost ghosted y'all.
You know what would help on those long days?
Shave that goddamn mustache. That's what would help.
I was thinking more Blue Bell ice cream.
Blue Bell ice cream.
Blue Bell, sponsor us. Please sponsor us.
I just want free ice cream, just so we're clear.
We were talking about New York, and I had an epiphany. I said, we get Nathan's Hot Dogs to sponsor us, and we do the podcast at Nathan's in Coney Island. I think that would be amazing.
Who the fuck is Nathan?
Nathan's Hot Dogs?
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Thank God. I was about to say, man, you're off the podcast.
I kicked myself off.
There's no greater hot dog. Well, Keller, you could probably argue that, but
yes,
can't remember the name of those hot dogs. I always forget.
Keller, you need a Red Bull?
Like a foot long, and
you need to order them,
and they go down your throat real easy. Like
he's the fucking glizzy gobbler.
No, I'm talking about the hot dogs that are up north in Michigan.
Oh yeah. I forget the name of them now.
Gotta order some of them.
Yeah. Oh, we bought like probably, I think it was like $70 worth of those hot dogs, and put them in the freezer. And then the freezer, the electricity tripped outside, and they all went bad.
No.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Woolworths?
Yes.
Oh man, I gotta order some. Gotta order some Woolworths hot dogs. Maybe Woolworths will sponsor us. You know,
well, she already has the guy's number.
Really?
Yeah, she knows him.
Let's reach out. Yeah, Woolworths hot dogs, man. Gotta get some Woolworths down here in Florida.
Put them on a battery backup.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's another week of the Stalebread Podcast. Welcome back. It's Mike. We got Keller. We got Monsignor. How's everybody doing?
Wonderful. Fucking horrible.
Horrible?
Yes.
Why are you horrible?
Well, my house got hit by lightning. I just replaced the TV and a router and God knows what else.
And I assume you're filing a homeowner's insurance?
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
You need to definitely work on that. Because
take a look at your deductible first, just to make sure.
That's what I told him.
You know how I know I'm old? We start talking about deductibles and insurance and all that.
Well,
when I was younger, I had nothing to lose.
Yeah. Monsignor, how are you? How's things going?
It's about the same. Just routine bullshit. I got to hang out with you for a little bit
You
today, though,
did.
so that was depressing.
Was a very depressing moment in my life. You know, took me back way too many years. No, it was good. It was good. Good to see you, man. It was really, really nice to feel like I'm back out in the field as accomplishing something again.
Yeah, just don't try and touch my balls anymore, please.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Mike said that you gave him a blowjob. And then when I talked to Jeremy, he said he gave you a hand. And I said, oh, so it was only a hand job.
He definitely gave me a hand, that's for sure.
We like to start slow.
Old song and dance, I'm telling you. Well, last week we talked about the O.J. Simpson trial and all that. And it got me wondering, like, have y'all been in trouble with the law in the past, or have you had close calls where you went to jail or anything like that?
I have a record. It's sealed. So
Oh shit.
yes,
Sealed.
So I'm not going to divulge any more information than that. So,
no fucking way.
No,
Come on now.
No. It was a minor thing back when I was 20 years old.
You did something with a minor?
No, when it was a minor. trying to get us canceled. This is the fourth episode.
Well, you put it out there. I'm just.
I was bartending, and I actually did serve a underage person, a minor.
What'd you serve?
Accidentally. I wasn't
accidentally
trying to. Yeah, it was a sting operation. And
did he have Jeremy's mustache?
They got a good person for this one, because he definitely did not look like he was 18, 19 years old. And
oh, wow.
I was immediately escorted into the establishment's office, and I was told, you just served a underage person without IDing them or anything, and wound up losing my job over it, losing I didn't really lose anything, but I went to court, pled no contest, and basically said, you know what, I'm not going to admit guilt, but I'm also not going to say that I didn't do it either. So, which they didn't cuff me or anything like that. They didn't take me downtown, nothing like that. It's a misdemeanor. So, I was very lucky. The operations team, the police team, was very, very nice about the situation. I think they knew that it was a mistake, and I was quite pissed with the establishment, because they, I had stood by them for quite some time, and they didn't stand by me. But it wound up pushing me into a better career path anyway. This was, I think I was 19 or 20 years old at the time.
Can you still make good drinks?
Absolutely.
I did not know this.
I still love bars.
Next time I come through, you're making me some drinks, sir.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. What about you?
What about you, Jeremy?
Absolutely.
No, trouble with the law.
Absolutely.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't have a record or anything like that. I was always very careful about not getting caught. So anytime I did something stupid, I was smart about it. Biggest thing really for me was I did have a motorcycle when I was that was my first vehicle, and I like to go fast. So I got pulled over a lot, and sometimes they couldn't catch me. So that was fun. That was thrilling.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
well,
never.
I've been to jail. I have.
You've been to jail.
Yes, I've been to jail, and it was nothing major, but it it all started with just tickets and being poor and not being able to pay my tickets.
No.
So then from there, I had a warrant out, and I evaded this warrant out for me probably for a good 2 years. And then I was in, I went to Tulsa Welding School, and there was this chick there that I liked, and I was always, hitting on her and stuff, trying to get to know her. And she wasn't really having none of it. But then one night, a big group of the people from the welding school was like, why don't we go out and have some drinks? And I was like, okay, this is my shot, right? So I'm going to go out with them. And we go out to the beach bars and we're hitting them up and drinking and everything. And right after the bars, she said that she needed to go by her ex-boyfriend's house to grab a couple things if we didn't mind. And it was like a group of 4 of us. And so we
Red
go over
flag.
there. Yeah, we go over there and we're like, okay, cool. If you just need to pick up a couple things, we'll go over there with you. So we go over there, and she goes inside, and she's gone like a long time at this point. And I call her. I'm like, what's going on? Like, it's been like 30 minutes already. And she's like crying on the phone, and she's like, oh, I'm just grabbing my stuff, and I'll be out in a minute. I'm like, oh shit, is something wrong? Like, do I need to come help you? Like, what's going on? So I walk up to the door, and she's sitting there by the door, and she's like, I'm just grabbing a couple of my things. And she's like, can you grab my TV right there? And she's got like another box of stuff. And I grabbed the TV. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Let's get it and go. So I'm walking out to the van that we were in with this TV in my hands. And there's another guy that's with me, and he's got a box of her stuff. And uh, he's like, y'all hear that? And I was like, what? And he's like, sounds like police sirens. I was like, why would there be police sirens? And as soon as I get to the vehicle holding this big ass TV, this is like tube TVs days. So I got this tube TV in my hands. 3 cop cars pull up, and they're like, get out, put it down. I'm like holding this TV. I'm like, what do I do?
Oh my gosh.
And I set it down, and they go and line us up against the vehicle, and they're checking everybody's IDs.
I
And
got you.
she broke into her ex-boyfriend's house. It was her stuff, but she broke in and got her stuff while he was gone. So her ex-boyfriend pulls up, and he's like, yeah, well, I have a restraining order against her, and she's not supposed to be here. And, and
Oh,
so
shit.
they're checking all the IDs, and of course,
And you get
who's got a warrant? Me.
Oh.
So I'm
Oh.
getting cuffed, and everybody else is free to go. He dropped all like charges as far as everybody breaking and entering and all that. And I'm getting arrested, and she's like, I'm sorry, don't kill me. And I'm just like, I can't kill you because I just go back to jail. I was so pissed. And then to top it off, I go to jail, and it's a different county that the warrant's for. So I have to sit in there and either get bailed out, which we're poor as shit, nobody's got any money, or sit in there. And I was in there for 2 weeks. 2 weeks in jail.
Oh my gosh.
During Thanksgiving holiday too. And eating this shitty ass like bland oatmeal and with with jelly packets.
A peel off or something.
Oh my god, it was terrible.
I've heard horror stories.
And when I got in there, it's like the first thing I go and sit down to eat the first meal, and this crackhead dude comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, that's my seat," and I just ignore him. I'm just like eating my food. And he's like, "I don't think you heard me. That's my seat." And I was like, just ignored him more. And he's like, "Oh, I was just playing." He's like, "You can sit there." I was like,
Damn, man.
yeah, then he kept on telling me if people were out to get me and all that, and I was like, okay, well, let them be out to get me then. But that's the only trouble that I've really been in. Probably almost got a DUI one time, but I was gracious enough not to get one. So,
well,
I learned my lesson after that too.
I think that leads us perfectly into our guest for the show today. Bring them on in.
We're going to unseal those records. Officer Justin Buchanan from
Clayton,
Clayton County,
Raymond County, Clayton, Georgia. the city of Clayton.
Clayton, Georgia.
Beautiful city,
Okay.
by the way.
We're in
Beautiful
Rabin
city.
County.
We don't
We're
know.
the northeast corner of Georgia. We actually border North Carolina and South Carolina, which makes our job a little more interesting as well. Consider we have two states that people like to run into.
Oh man, yeah. Y'all are looking for me too.
So
For
I've always
the
wanted
super
to
speeder fine.
I've always wanted to know, how does that work? How does somebody leaves the state line?
Oh, it's all fair
What
game. You run
happens?
from me, you go to another state, I'm still chasing your ass.
Okay.
Damn.
It's
Okay.
just if I pitch you in that jurisdiction, uh, let's go to you, Keller. First off, that's when I heard you fart. You've been in jail for 2 weeks.
No, I swear to God, I didn't take a shit for 2 weeks.
Are you
I swear to God.
Because it's been pushed in.
Yes, I even tried to, and then I was like, I just couldn't. I couldn't do it.
He was afraid.
I was a little bit. I was like, I don't want people to sit there and stare at me, take a shit. Is weird, man. This is a weird situation.
Oh, but yeah, no. If the way jurisdiction works, if I'm running traffic, you're speeding, you come through my city, which is approximately 2 by 2 square miles. It's like 4 square miles, two miles by 2 miles, either way you go. And if I catch you speeding through there and you run, the original infraction happened inside my jurisdiction. Now, if you run 40 miles in a different direction and you blow a tire, you get arrested, whatever the case is, you stop and I arrest you, I don't take you back to my jail. You go to the jail where you stopped. And then it's just like what you said, you're one within another county. They got to sit there because presumably they're going to have more charges in that county as well for obviously the fleeing and the looting. So they're going to face it there. Then they're going to just start stepping back in every county they went through until they get to where I started.
So say you drove, chased somebody for like 5-6 hours, and you finally got them. Not saying that you would do that, but say that was the case. Would they pay for a hotel or something for you to stay in that area for the night, or would you have to drive back?
I got a gas card and we drive back.
Dang. That is wild. So what's the wildest thing that you've ran into being a police officer, or you were detective too
I was
at
an,
one
I was an
point, correct?
investigator for the Rabin County Sheriff's Office. Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot of them. The most
Did any of them
We got
involve Jeremy? Look at the
we got
mustache
time.
really
we got
closely.
time. We'll start with the most interest. You know, all cops gotta get tased, right? Like to carry a taser,
Did you piss yourself?
Tased in, I thought, like pepper sprayed.
yes, both.
In training, right?
Okay.
In training, you're required to get it by the state to do it. So I started out in 2014. I started out as a jailer, and I had to go through jail school. To go through jail school, you got to get tased and you got to get pepper sprayed.
Did anyone ever pass go or collect $200
No,
or go directly to jail?
it goes directly to jail.
That was
And
a terrible
I
joke.
actually, he says that, but I actually use that quite often on the road. Like when we do criminal trespasses, a criminal trespass warning is like, I write a paper that said, you cannot be at this address anymore. And I'm like, you understand, by signing this, it means you don't pass go, you don't collect $200, you go straight to jail if you come back.
Total cop joke right there. Total cop joke.
Until they do it, and then you go back to, you're like, I told you, you're not going to go past go.
I think that's what y'all told me with the super speeder fine.
Yeah.
Don't come around here.
You get caught in Georgia and you're going to jail.
Wait. What's the super speeder fine?
Well, apparently,
Ooh.
if you go 90 miles an hour, they give you another ticket on top of your ticket, but you don't have to pay it because your license won't get suspended if you don't. But you're not allowed to drive in Georgia anymore. And back probably 15 years ago, I probably got one of those and I never paid the super speeder fine. So technically, I'm not allowed to drive through
He
Georgia.
suspended his driving privileges in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, I called him about it. I was like, hey, I got to make a trip to Florida. And I was wondering, did this just fall off or anything? And he did a little digging and he's like, nope. You are still there.
Yeah,
Oh,
this,
boy.
in the state of Georgia, if you're going 30 miles per hour over the posted speed limit, so say it's 45, you're going 80, super speeder. Or if you're going
Oh,
anything over 85 miles an hour, it's a super speeder.
so let's get back to your crazy story.
Like I said, gotta get tased, gotta get pepper sprayed. It sucks. I would rather get pepper sprayed than tased though, because when you get tased, a full tasing, what it does. You know how you have your muscular system, you have your neurological system. It works off the brain's impulses, sends electrical signals throughout your body to make your motor functions operate.
Mhm.
Uh, there's two probes, and what they're trying to do is separate the hemisphere. So imagine your belt line. You have the top portion, the bottom portion. Those are two major muscle groups: your hamstrings, quads, and then your lats. If you get a good deployment, you'll have one taser hit the back and one taser hit around the butt or the hamstring area. When you get a good deployment, it will incapacitate the person, lock them up fully. I'm sure we've all seen the TikToks of that guy running out of the car or out of the car drinking a mixed drink wherever it
Oh
was, and
yeah,
the cop taser
Yeah.
just falls on his
Yes.
face. That is a
like a
perfect
board
lockup.
straight.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's real. That's not.
Oh no,
That's not a.
that is science. That is definitely real.
No. I mean the video itself of him getting hit.
Oh
That's
yeah,
real. Okay.
yeah.
I don't think
We
you
have a
can
couple
fake
up here.
that.
But anyways, how to get tased, how to get pepper sprayed in jail school. Uh, Fast forward 2 years, I go to get certified on the road. They call it post mandated training. You get it's like 480 hours of training you got to go through, and it's like going through boot camp. Got to get tased, got to get pepper sprayed again down there. So there's those two options. So go through all that again, and then get on the road. A couple years go by. I'm working night shift, and with a sheriff's office, we have 320 square miles we have to patrol with two people. And I got a call one day. There's another deputy. He got a call for a assault, an aggravated assault. What an aggravated assault in the state of Georgia is if I use a weapon or I do something to place you in reasonable fear or safety of your life. So if I come up to Keller and say I put a gun to his head and say I'm gonna fucking kill you, I just committed aggravated assault. What this guy did,
Oh shit! I've
just don't.
That just happened last week, didn't it?
Just happened last week.
I think
Didn't
I
you
did
do
that to
that to me?
Jeremy earlier today.
Assault.
But we get a call. We have in the city limits of Clayton. There's a bunch of gas stations and stores around. We have an Ingles. This guy was driving through, and apparently something went down. And he pulled a gun out of the car, pointed at a bunch of bystanders, said some I don't remember the words, but said some words. Anyways, they called, said this guy just pulled a gun on us, and he's taken off. So one of my other deputies finds him. We have a back lot of they call it an indoor flea market here, and he pulls him there. And the deputy gets out. And he's like, "Show me your hands." He's like, "I ain't fucking doing it." So the deputy goes back to his car and says, "He ain't getting out of his car." I'm saying like, well, "What the fuck made him get out of his car?" So I roll in along with another police department sergeant or captain at the time, and I worked with this guy for a long time. He's actually my assistant chief now. And we get there to him, and the guy sitting in the passenger seat. There's a female in the driver's seat, and he has like a boxer. It's like a little four-door small car, a boxer in the back seat, like the dog boxer. So I start running his date of birth and
I thought
everything.
like Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson was in the back, or Evander Holyfield, boxer.
That
No,
would have been
both
a
of
different
his
story.
ears are intact.
That would have been a different story. Anyways, I get the guy's name, date of birth, start running him. He's got an active warrant for a probation violation. So we contact probation. They set him in place, hold him. So we have to take him to jail at this point. Regardless of the incident that occurred before, he has a warrant. He has to go to jail.
What was his name? Keller?
I don't remember the guy's name, honestly. I do remember, I got a video. He was like 6'5", 6'6". He was about 250, 260 pounds. Back then, I'm 5'8", okay? I was probably 160 pounds back then. Like, I could run, but I was not a big guy. Still not a big guy. Anyways,
You need a bunch of tilapia.
yeah,
at
all
this
the
point,
tilapia, all the protein. uh, we're trying to communicate this guy. I said, look, we don't care what happened back then. You have a warrant. We have to take you out. Like, there's nothing we can do about the warrant. We can help you with other stuff. We can't help with this. So you got to get out of the car. We got to take you in. It's out of our hands at this point. We spend 30 minutes talking to this guy trying to get him out. We asked him 32 times to step out of the car, and he absolutely refused to step out of the car. Now we know we had a gun, but we have not located the gun at this point. So I get sick and tired of it. And I say, dude, look, you got to get out of the car. Now we're done with it. He's like, we've asked, we've asked, we've asked. Now we're going to make you. And if you don't get out, you're going to come out against your will. He's like, well, you ain't going to fucking come out. You come out, I'm sick of my dog on you. And backstory, the assistant chief, this captain at the time, uh, we work on SWAT together. He has shot a lot of dogs. Like he goes out and there's a dog that usually ends up dead.
Oh, no.
Oh man.
Keller, you're going to need another jacuzzi.
That's for cats, Jeremy.
So in the back of
I
my
would
head
never-
here, I'm thinking this dog can't get out of this car because it's going to end up bad.
Oh, no.
So he's like, I'm not fucking getting out. I'm like, okay, you're getting out. I tell the assistant chief that open the door, he opens the door, and we have certain vehicle extraction we do on people. Like he's sitting on the passenger side, we're going to take his right arm and pin his right arm against the back of the car and try to rotate his shoulder to rotate him out of the car. I proceed to do that. I do that, I get him out, and then he uses his left hand to try to grab him by the throat and choke me. So I then grab his left arm, twist it around, take him an arm bar down to the ground. As I take him
Oh,
down
I
to
thought
the
he was going to say. Sorry, I thought he probably stopped choking you when you said, "Oh, daddy."
I don't know if this guy would have stopped. He may have enjoyed that. He's done some stints in prison, so there's no telling at this point. Anyways, I take him down to the ground with the arm bar. I do, and I try to go to a Kimura and take his arm around him, try to get him handcuffed. As I do that, the boxer proceeds to jump through the passenger door that we just opened. There's another officer on scene. He goes to tase the dog. The dog jumps on the back of me, bites me in the hamstring. The officer goes to tase the dog, misses the dog, tases me. I get hit with a taser. I yell, I'm hit. This guy on the ground, he just hears all this commotion. He thinks somebody shot him. So he just immediately gives up. And you see me on camera jump up and waddle off. I remove the taser from myself. I break the string, get back on there. I have to finish handcuffing him because the other guy who was initiated stop just was standing there. So I get him handcuffed. And then we look for the dog. And I'm like, where the fuck's the dog? And the lady gets out like, get
Did
the
he
fuck
shoot
back
it?
in the car. No,
He
it
didn't
was
shoot
the
it,
dog.
did
He
he?
just ran off because when the
Okay.
officer went to go tase the dog, we have a taser. The probes are aligned vertically. One goes out, they go vertically when they come out, so up and down. A normal person is a vertical being. A dog is a horizontal being. When he went to go
Right.
tase the dog, he held it vertically instead of horizontally. So one
You had
probe,
to do it like the hood, hold it sideways.
exactly. That's what he should have done. I would have got tased. So when he held it that way, like, it's weird how it worked. One probe hit me in the foot, went through my boot, and made contact with my heel. Where the dog was biting me, the other probe hit the dog, which made a full circuit loop. So I got tased on getting dog bit because the dog had good bite on me.
Oh,
So the dog got tased too.
It probably made the bite worse, right?
It made everything
With him
worse.
being shocked.
The dog, he ran away. We couldn't find the dog. And I'm sitting there like, what the hell just happened here?
Does he have a
Oh.
warrant?
The dog,
Yeah, that was the
we
beginning.
find him.
Yeah.
The Did you take him to the pound, lock him up?
The other day, I actually did.
Yeah.
We have an animal control
He was
here, and there was a
behind bars
German
and,
Shepherd running around town, and I just loaded him back in my car. Like, hey, I called animal control, and y'all just come pick this thing up. Like, I don't know what to do with it. They're like, well, you're in the city. We can't come out there. I'm like, there's been like a spat between the dog community and the city and versus the county because it's a county like paid service, so they don't want to operate within the city limits. So I got dispatch my radio. I said, dispatch on me 1095 is our code for arrest me. 1095 one K9 en route to the detention facility. So I drove it down to the jail.
Wow.
That's rough. Tased
Locked
and
him
dog
up.
bit all in one, and a dangerous guy with a gun.
Now,
all in one scenario.
now that was the beginning of the day. My shift started at 6 p.m. I went from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That occurred about 7 or 7:30, like an hour and a half after him on duty.
Good Lord.
3 hours later, I get a call. Now, Raven County, I'm related to a lot of people here. So if I go out to Walmart, people know me. Like on or off duty, they know me. I have to respond to a place called Dandelion Lane. It's right across where I grew up. It's my cousin's house. I respond out there, get out there. Cousin's in prison for, I think, possession of meth at this point. His ex-wife at the time, which is on meth and batshit crazy, had broken in to her now ex, whatever, his mom's house, who has full custody of her children. Him and her lost all custody of their children. But anyway, she breaks into the house trying to see the kids. So I had to respond out there for a burglary in progress because that's what it came out as. We got there on scene, and it's like a mile and a half of a dirt driveway. And I meet them, they're coming down the road, the truck is, and I meet them halfway. She jumps out, she's like, "This bitch," I said, "Well, everybody needs to calm down because I don't know what's going on at this point." And then the meth
Meth.
lady comes out
That's
of
what's
the
going on.
woods. The meth lady comes out of the woods, and she's like, "I was just trying to see my fucking kids." And I see her, I'm like, "Christy, her name's Christy, what the hell are you doing?" She's just trying to see my kids. I'm like, "You know you cannot see your kids." I'm like, "There are restraining orders against you with all these people, and you cannot see your kids according to defects. So you cannot
Oh,
be
man.
here." He starts raising hell and trying. I said, "You better sit your ass down right now." She's like, "Fine." So she goes over to the front of the truck, in front of my car, and she sits on the front bumper there, like jacked up, darn Dodge Dually. And I'm talking to the other girl. I said, "Explain what's going on." She came in, she busted my windows of the house, trying to see the kids. She's like, "I understand it's her kids, but with everything she's done to those kids, we can't let her see her." I said, "I understand that. She's going to go to jail for violating of protect order." Then Christy proceeds to get up, come over to me. I said, "Christy, if you don't fucking sit down, I'm going to make you sit down." She's like, "You ain't going to do shit." So I proceed to pick her up. She's like 100 pounds soaking wet with clothes on. I make her sit down, and I get on my radio and said, my number back then was 611. I said, 611 dispatch. It's another unit. I'm going to be in a fight with them one right now. They're like, in dispatch now, we have you ever talk to another police officer, you probably get the same response. Our dispatch or a communication center that dispatches out to calls, they don't pay attention to anything. I said, "Dispatch, I'm fighting one. I need another unit." Now, granted, I am 20 minutes one direction away from the middle of town. They proceed to say, 10-4, you're back in service. I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my shit.
Oh man.
After the tase, the dog bite, now dealing with meth heads.
So I had to proceed to, I put her
Well,
face in the
meth
dirt.
head family members.
That's the best part. Because then it came down
Yeah.
after I got arrested, I had to like put her face in the dirt, get her handcuffed and everything else. I had to use two sets of handcuffs because her wrists were so small. I had to like wrap both of them around there so she couldn't get her hands out because she's all
That
methed
made
out.
Thanksgiving real awkward, didn't it?
But she tried to proceed to try to sue me, saying that it was a conflict of interest that I arrested her.
Oh. Well, one of the things we were wanting to talk about too was the advancements of AI, and how do you think that would look as far as like the police using AI in the future, as far as drones or maybe even jail systems
Even
that
like
are ran
even like
by
facial
AI,
like facial recognition and all things like that too.
but more into the robotic side of it. As far, of course, they do use it for facial recognition and
They
things
already
like
have
that.
that. As far as I think it'll be very advantageous in the jail systems. Not necessarily the jail, but more over the prison systems because I mean
You
they
can't
have
be using big words like that.
to be very good in
Well,
the prisons
I'm
because
GED, not PhD. So
GED. Yes.
yes,
The thing about prisons are, especially when it comes to gang affiliations, most everybody they don't get initiated, especially around here. They don't get initiated on the streets. They build up record. They get on the road for 3 to 5 years. They get a stint in the local prison system, and most people get initiated into the gang systems through prison. And when they get out, they try to carry on that legacy, and that's where you start getting all these like sporadic little pop-ups of gang activities. So they're coming out of prison, and they're trying to stick to their stories of what happened in prison. Because when you go to prison,
So
it's literally it's a terrible system. It's not there to they do rehab, but you got to pick a side with somebody, whether it be the white supremacists, whether it be the Mexicans, whether it be the blacks. You got to pick a side, or you're gonna get hurt. They protect each other in there. It's sad, but I think if we get AI incorporated into that, especially where you can plug in like the the gang portions, you'll be good to go.
you're
What
still
about well, something to keep in mind? AI has come a really, really long way. It is no longer science fiction. Some of the shit we see in movies, as far as being self-aware, um, it's it's creepy. It's creepy upon us. Um,
That's an understatement.
but yeah, but to keep it rational with this conversation, um, a lot of '80s movies come to mind. RoboCop. How how do you think that could be deployed? What's your take on that?
Honestly, my take on that, I would not put in the street. The variables are unaccounted for. I have been doing this for almost 10 years, and there is still stuff that occurs that I'm like, well, color me shitless. I did not anticipate that one.
Well, the whole thing was the ethics behind it. As you have AI, uh, it's a learning technology. The way it kind of works, just to give a brief, really dumb background, and I'll probably fuck a little bit of this up, but I'm going to say it anyway. You have two systems. You have the creative side, and then you have the side that decides what to keep, what to memorize, what to throw away. And those two servers, those two networks, talk to each other. For example, if you've got a self-driving car like a Tesla, it's going down the road, and a lady in a stroller runs out into the road. So now the car sees baby lady. It's going to have to do something. It can turn left. However, if it turns left, it's going to run into a group of school kids on the road. So now the car has to decide, am I going to kill this baby and this lady, these two people, or am I going to kill this group of five school kids?
can you just do
So
like a wide turn and wipe them all out?
Cars do have brakes too.
it's too late for
Oh,
brakes.
okay. All right.
Yeah, they ran out into a
Oh,
freeway.
oh,
The car was
okay.
going
All
70.
right.
Yeah, with four cars
Really,
around it.
they had no business being there. So Keller's correct. But RoboCop, you throw human into the element, and humans are able to, I guess, keep it ethical. We don't want a machine deciding which human lives and which human dies.
Exactly, because if you try to throw the AI into that situation, it's going to come down to the point of like, how's it going to determine? I mean, out here, everything is an ever evolving situation. We can go to two domestics one night. I go to one domestic where I hear cussing and yelling. I get in the door, and it's just because the kid wouldn't go to sleep and everything's good. Or go to the same another domestic that sounds just the same way. Go in there, husband stabbing the wife, or husband stabbing the wife. You're not going to know until you actually get there, and it can change in an instant. Of What be another example that I've ran into before? Uh, for example, well, what was it, Killer? About 2 months ago, I told you about the lady that broke into the police department.
Oh yeah, that was a crazy one. Oh
Yeah, I
my
mean
god.
this.
I heard about this story. This is awful.
Yeah, just I work day shift here at the police department now. I left the SO and came to the PD because there's better insurance. Municipalities offer better insurance, better pay. So it was a no-brainer to take. Anyways, I get in at 5 a.m. in the morning. I go work out at 3 a.m. Come in at 5. You should get about 15 till 5. As I'm rolling in, the night shift sergeant says, "Hey, Buckhannon, where are you at?" I said, "I'll be there in about 3 minutes." He's like, did they clean the courtroom yesterday? I said, no, they did not clean the courtroom. It's like, I need you to go ahead and meet me over here. Something's wrong. So I get over there, the door's propped up in the courtroom. I'm like, why is there a door propped up? He's like, I don't know. Go in there, and there's like a hallway, 2 bathrooms to the left, and on the right, at the very end of the hallway, is the courtroom entrance, and straight at the very end of the hallway, straight ahead, is a probation officer's room. The door's propped open to the main entrance. I go inside, the bathrooms are propped open. There's trash just shoved in the middle of the hallway, just randomly, just like a big pile of trash. There's a trash can and shit in the trash, like legitimate shit in the trash can. Instead of the toilet that's next door over, she shit in the trash can, and we didn't know it's shit at the time. But anyways, go to probation, clear. I got to clear the room, obviously. Clear the probation office, and like she's taken all the desks that were in there, like his main like L-frame desk, like pushed against the wall, and then the courtroom. She's rearranged the whole courtroom, and just there's like the fire alarm. There's like a dress thrown over the fire alarm, and there's a TV over in the corner. Like, where the fuck did the TV even come from? There was no power
Gilmore
there.
Girls was on. So
There was no power there. I started searching around, found the fuse box. She like flipped all the breakers off. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So, anyways, call assistant chief, said this is what's going on. I said I'm gonna start watching video, start reviewing video. Poor night shift guys, they just never came around apparently, because we do a rotation at 5 p.m. in the afternoons when they come on. This lady got there at 8 o'clock at night, and you see her in her end. She's wearing like a trench coat, you see the 1970s gangsters like trench coat. She's wearing one of those. She comes in.
Tom.
She it gets worse. That's exactly what it was. She comes in the main entrance, and you see her comes to the courtroom, and from the COVID days, we still have a sign up. It's no longer even used. It says face covering required, and we still have some old box of the old masks. So she goes up, she knocks on the courtroom door. Nobody opens. She reads it. She reads a sign that says mask. She goes over to the table, gets a mask, puts it on, goes back over there, knocks again. Nobody answers. She goes to probation office, does the same thing. And then I guess she has to use the bathroom at this point. So you see her go in the bathroom, door closes, 5 minutes pass. She opens the door, comes out naked. I'm like, what the fuck does she do in the bathroom?
The sign didn't say clothes were required, just masks.
Just masks.
Duh.
She comes out of the bathroom. She goes in the courtroom. She opens up. She turns on all the lights. And then at this point, she's butt naked. She goes up the front desk. She's like, just looking around. I'm like, what's this girl doing? And if you're looking at that courtroom, on the very left-hand side, there's a bunch of tables made in a U shape, because when it's a municipal court, you go in there, you get a ticket. If you can't pay the ticket, you get put on probation to pay the ticket. So they all go over there for probation. She goes over there. She crawls on a table. She goes to sleep for like an hour and a half. Just crawls on the table and goes to sleep. Hour and a half goes by. She wakes up, goes back out, goes in the bathroom, comes out of the bathroom. She has floor cleaning stuff, and she proceeds to go back in the courtroom, get a chair, come out in the hallway right there, and she proceeds to clean herself with a floor cleaner, like in the middle of the hallway. She pulls the trash can. Actually, yes, I think it was the green Fabuloso.
I guarantee you that video was Fabuloso.
She's about 120 pounds, and it's not the pretty 120 pounds, it's like meth 120 pounds.
Oh boy.
Anyways, she proceeds to clean herself Fabuloso, and then she starts dumping the trash cans out in the middle of the thing. She at this point takes a dump in the trash bag or the trash can. She goes to probation officer, pulls the TV out, rolls the TV into the courtroom, and plugs it in. And now, granted, there's nothing on this TV because she just put it in the wall. She pulls a chair. She puts the TV in front of where the judge sits, and then she sits on the ground. It's plugged in, white noise, just white static. And she proceeds to.
Oh, she was watching something. She was
watching something. She's watching something because she proceeded to have fun with herself.
Oh.
It reminds me of my childhood days with scrambled HBO at night.
Well, once it gets
So
done, she goes
maybe it'll.
behind the pulpit where the judge sits, and then she proceeds to do the same thing with a microphone.
Wow.
Oh
She
man.
puts the microphone
Oh, she
in.
goes to town. Like she gave herself an encore.
Does it sound like macaroni?
Luckily, we had no sandwich. I'm very thankful for.
Wow.
So all this goes on from 8:30 to 4 o'clock in the morning. Like just before I got there, I got there like 4:45, and
So you just missed her.
yeah, it's taking like an hour and a half of us watching videos, fast forward and everything else. It's about 7:30 in the morning now, and
Hang on, I'm
while
adding
watching the video,
to
she
the list.
takes a black trash can, exits the building, and leaves with a black trash can. Just she left her clothes there, takes a black trash can, and leaves. So I go to the investigator and said, "This is what we got going on. We need to get some warrants for burglary and for criminal damage to property." Say Georgia murder requires that you have to enter into a facility and enter into a building. Uh, it can be forced or non-forced. You got to either commit a theft or a felony therein. So she met the standards for the charge, was able to get a warrant for the charge. Turns out they just dealt with her a couple weeks ago in reference to domestic. She has like 3 kids. Two's in school, elementary school, and one is a brand new newborn baby, like 6 weeks old. So,
Oh man,
and she lives right across from the police department. When I say right across, I'm talking about like if you got an NFL player, football player, he'd be able to throw the ball and hit her house. Like it's just right across the road, behind the dentist's office. We secure the warrant. We go do it. Arrest this lady. We go around the dentist office to where her house is, and when we get up there, there is the front door's wide open. She's Hispanic. She is blaring, and I'm probably 40, 60 feet away at this point, blaring music out of the front of the living room. Like you can barely hear yourself think. She has whatever sound system she had, it was loud. And everything on the interior of the house and now outside the house just thrown about on the driveway in their yard. Like it's destroyed.
Well, that's
So,
nothing different for a Mexican house. I mean,
uh, so I'm like, well,
that's the hell out.
I said, this can be,
And they
this can be
normally
fun.
shower in Fabuloso.
Yeah, you know,
That's a normal
Yeah,
thing.
naked in the hallway without water.
It's,
one hell of a way to get.
it's not a Spanish house if there aren't what 2 cars in the front yard, a used grill.
There's a used grill, 1 car broken
Yeah.
down.
Well, they were also on meth, so they had to sell the 1 car.
That's true.
worked.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
This is true. You got to support the habit. Oh, so
So what?
I get with the other
Oh, go
guys.
ahead.
We're going to go into the residence to arrest the girl. As I'm walking up in the residence, I see tire tracks where somebody spun out and left the area. Like where we entered in, they were leaving out. I'm looking down, looking at the spin out tracks, and look over to my right, and I see I see like an old carpet thing, and there's a baby laying face down. At first, it was so small, I thought it was like a baby doll. It's like purple because it's cold outside. It's like I said, 2 months ago, it was
Oh
probably
shit.
40 degrees outside that night.
Oh my god.
Go over there, and I said, "Oh shit, this real bad. Everybody back up. We got a crime scene at this point." So I go there, check it. The baby's alive, cold, barely breathing, but alive. I call EMS. EMS. I turn the baby over to EMS. Everybody else goes in, tries to clear the residence, find her. Uh,
Oh shit! I was gonna say, Keller, time to get another jacuzzi.
No. I will never have a dead baby jacuzzi. Just for cats, man. Just for cats.
oh, but anyways, we baby's okay. Had hypothermia. We go inside. She's barricaded herself in the bathroom, still naked at this point. We told her to come out. She's like, "I'm not coming out. I'm taking a shower." Like, you're not taking a fucking shower. Come out. So we proceed to kick the door in. She bum rushes out, naked now, tits flopping everywhere. And big officer beside me, his name's Miss. We'll call him AB. She runs at AB, I guess, because she thinks he's the easiest target. He tases her, gets a dart in the tit and dart in the hip. She walks up, and we proceed to arrest her. She's like, "Why the fuck are you in my house?" I'm like, "Why the fuck did we find your baby outside?"
Oh my god! Did the baby survive?
The baby did survive. Got
Oh,
to
thank
Northeast
God.
Georgia
Okay.
Medical
Oh
Center.
man,
Baby's
that's
good. Baby's been removed from the
I
household.
thought
All
the
kids
baby
have.
died the first time you
yeah.
told me.
Keller told me the other day the baby died. I'm like, oh my God.
No, the baby lived.
I thought the baby died and she was uh
No, they did a
pretty
core.
much.
They did a rectal core temp on her, the baby, and she was at, I think they said 87 degrees.
Holy
Oh
cow.
man.
And no, they got her all
Well, you
back.
know
She's good. Baby's good
that
now.
baby's gonna succeed to be like the next president of the United States.
I
Watch.
certainly hope so.
As long as they stay away from mama.
Whew.
Wow, that's some craziness.
Yeah, but
Speaking of cats and jacuzzis, my cat is scratching up my door right now.
yeah, but there's an AI. How would an AI respond to that situation? Is he going to say, "Well, the
Do meth
baby"?
with them.
Is he going to leave the baby there, or is he trying to save the baby in reference to trying to serve the warrant?
I feel like if it was that advanced of AI, though, they could just pick up the baby and they would have a storage unit within their body that they could put the baby in, and then they go in there and be like, "I am Murphy, freeze," and then shoot them or tase them or
With a net,
whatever.
With a net.
with an
Yeah,
electric net.
shoot them with a electric net. There you go.
Yes, that'd be a very
What's your
sensitive.
take on all of it, Mike?
Well, I was thinking more towards like the investigation side. I think AI, you could maybe put a camera in at the crime scene. So like nothing's been touched yet, nothing's, been gone through. And you have this camera and it just does like a 360 scan of everything and it gets logged instead of having somebody have to come in, take pictures of this, and this. Um, and then you can, use the power of AI to determine, what was where, possible motives, things like that. Is that something that could happen?
Well,
That would make
That sounds awesome.
that
their life a
that
lot
is
easier.
actually
Well,
that
also now
that.
they got all these. Oh, sorry, Jeremy. They got all
No,
these
I was just
tools like where it scans walls and distances and everything else too. So if you add that into it, you'd be able to tell distances of everything, like almost
well,
like a grid.
all of that technology exists right now. AI is now capable of visuals. They can see, they can describe what's around them. They can hear, interpret sounds, they can speak languages. They're able to hear in multiple languages and decipher them all real time. So with that whole learning thing, I mean, think about Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock's.
That was yeah, that was all deductive reasoning. So if you have an AI that is capable of learning, that's the big thing with AI. You describe to it what you found at the crime scene. You describe the situation. You tell it where it's at. You give it as much information as you can, as many facts as possible, so that it has a basis to run its scans. And then, Mike, like you said, put a camera in the room. It does a 360. It talks to you. Hey, I noticed something in the corner. Can you go flip that over? You walk over there. You flip it over, and it scans it again. And turns out to be a note or something relevant to the case. So it can go through the entire room way faster than we can, and pick up details that we wouldn't even think to notice.
That's pretty wild.
I think that'd be a, that'd be a great idea. The only thing that I would have a problem with is you got to think up here where we live. Service is far and few in between. Some of these houses we go to that gets broken into, like you'll have no cell service. Period. Unless you have internet, you're in the boonies. You have nothing. So in reference to something like that to
Oh,
occur, you might be a little different having it up here compared to like say down in Jacksonville, Florida, or Atlanta, Georgia, where you have 5G all the time. And the other,
Well, Jacksonville.
Well, maybe you wouldn't necessarily need it live. Um,
you can just
maybe
upload
it's
it later.
right. You take it into a database of some sort. You collect the data, just like Chat GPT. ChatGPT needs input. So you collect the data, you collect the pictures, video, whatever, and then you put it into a system, and then that, back at the station, and then where you have good connections and things like that.
Yeah,
So
that'd be fantastic. That is, even if it didn't come to a definite conclusion, it could get the majority of our work done by picture taking, evidence collection, and recreation of the scene before it occurred. If it that's 70% of the work you got to do. You could probably do that in
I don't like it.
half the time.
Is that so? My next question would be: is that something? What?
Mike?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's what's real, and here's what's possible. In the world of AI right now, there is an artificial intelligent robot called Figure One. This is a bipedal robot. It can walk around. It has arms. It has digits. It is able to do tasks, multitask. So you already have. I forget what the company's name was that did the Figure One bot, but I know that it's paired with OpenAI. So this is a robot with artificial intelligence. Now, for those rural areas, you have we've got Starlink. We've got Elon Musk sending Wi-Fi down from the heavens. So we could we may have detectives in the future that are all nuts and bolts. It is a very possible thing.
Well, I'm on board with that. Totally on board with that. But I guess my question is, what right now is the biggest challenge, Justin? Like you were saying, 70% of the work is figuring out pre crime. What would AI be solving for that? Like what would you want it to do? Is I guess the bigger question is like,
I guess ideally, coming from an investigator standpoint, ideally what I would want, the majority of our crimes, what is up here, we'll just go with property crimes. Burglaries, breaking and enterings, thefts. And it'd be nice to have something that could say, here's a geographical layout, here's the area this occurred, it plots where all this occurred at, gets nearby residents when this totals the amount of damage and the total of the thefts that were actually occurred in that area, and be able to plot specifically like this is the target area, and then have some kind of algorithm that can say, like up here, the majority of ours is meth related, drug related. If they're trying to steal to support habits, and they'll go and pawn it off to either pawn shops inside the state or outside the state, which puts kinks in our plans, because when it gets outside the state, we have certain programs that can allow us to check uh, pawn slips and pawn shops. When it goes outside the state, it makes it a lot harder to do that. If it gave us the opportunity to where we can expand, it'd be awesome.
So like kind of generally speaking, those types of crimes follow with another type of crime.
Oh yeah, most all the time, if you see a property crime, there's always an underlying crime. Like 99% of the time, it's an underlying issue. There's something else going on besides just that property crime.
You could kind of preempt the second crime by having AI kind of figure out what happened in the first one.
Exactly, because most time is in the same areas. We have it's a tourist town. We have a lot of lake houses, a lot of third, fourth houses, or people own. They come up here 1 or 2 times a year. They come back next year and they figure out it's broken into, because they don't have an alarm system. They don't have anything to monitor what's going on there.
So I know I love coming up to Clayton. I love Raven Gap. Love it up there. It's beautiful. Speaking of tourist towns, lovely.
Yeah, if they had something that could follow into that area and be like, hey, this area's seen a higher rise of traffic, of foot traffic or vehicle traffic, especially at times where it's not supposed to be, that could give us a declaration of what's going on and what's going to happen. We just recently got into speaking of AI, some readers that we have up on the roadways now, which a lot of the Georgia has now, that will read your tags and be able to tell you suspend license, revoke registration, warrants, stolen vehicles, and that just gets into AI, which helps us out a lot as well.
I didn't even know y'all like even investigated thefts. It
Oh,
seemed
all the
like y'all
time.
just like, oh well,
Majority of our
your
stuff
shit's
is
gone.
property crimes up here.
Well, you know what happened to my cousin here in when he lived in Jacksonville, as his apartment got robbed, and he had a guitar and like a gaming system and stuff like that, and they took it up to the pawn shop, sold it, and we were in the pawn shop looking around and saw his guitar. We knew it was his. It had the same markings on it, everything. Um, so we alerted them that the guitar was stolen. So when the police come and they make their report and all that, he doesn't get the guitar back. He has to he has to pay them money to get it back from the pawn shop for whatever
Uh,
they pawned it for.
no, see, when we go,
That's what they told him.
no, that's fucked up. When I did that, we'd be like, hey, this is stolen property. I'm taking it back. I write them a property receipt, and I take that, leave them their property receipt. I take it back to the owner. I'll take pictures
Oh,
and
so they were just being lazy with their job, pretty much.
exactly.
Hey, bold new city of the South, baby.
Oh man, what a surprise!
The only thing I'll say in seeing this out is if you buy new shit, if it's got a serial number, whether it be a DeWalt drill, a Ryobi drill, a TV, take a picture of the serial number. Because if it gets stolen, when it gets pawned, you give that to the investigator. They enter it in the system. When it's pawned, it's flagged. Immediately gets sent off to the investigators. So just take
Oh wow.
pictures of your shit, specifically
So he
identification
just got
numbers.
screwed.
Yes.
That's pretty
And
much
don't lose.
it.
That's actually
Got the wrong
one of
one.
the things insurance companies will tell you too. Take pictures of everything, so that way, God forbid, natural disaster or something.
And get a
You
camera at your house. I cannot tell you
Yeah.
how many times I've worked. He's like, oh, I don't need no camera here. I'm like, if you had a camera, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
I got 5 of them, but only 3 installed right now. But they're all on the inside. I got to install the outside ones.
Well, gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure. Justin, thank you so much for coming on.
Anytime. I
Real quick
appreciate it.
before we go,
Oh,
what's your favorite ice cream, Justin?
Cookies and cream.
brand.
Bluebell?
Is it Bluebell?
Brand. Oh gosh.
Say Bluebell. We're trying to get a sponsorship.
I do like Bluebell. I was gonna go cheap,
And if
but
you didn't say Bluebell, we would never invite you back on.
Oh,
And we will tase you and let you get bit by another dog.
been there, done that.
well, make sure you tune in next episode when we talk about AI robots and brothels.
And brothels. What could go wrong there?
So, other than being a police officer, you own your own business too, right?
Yes, I do. Black Bear Property Improvements, LLC.
All right. Well, if you ever need any work done, this is the man for you. He'll get it done, even if you have a dog that's biting him and you have to tase somebody. He'll get the work done. So everybody, go to his website, give him a shout out.
And
We
that
should make it a
website
good
is
story. Just
Yep.
Facebook and
One more time.
Black Bear Property Improvements.
Black Bear Property Improvements. Go find them. If you're in the Clayton, Georgia area, South Carolina, North Carolina area, Black Bear Improvements.
Well, thank you for coming out, buddy. And I'll talk to you next time. Let me know any more crazy stories or investigations you have.
Will do. Y'all have a good one.
All right, guys.
All right.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Peace, motherfucker.